So welcome to this day 3. So before we quickly start, a quick question to everyone. Did you all work on the assignment which was given for the last week? Any answers? Ankit, Loganathan? Did you all work on that, or like did you just have a glimpse of the same? Did you see through the questions? Okay, Ankit is not finished. What about the others? So anyways, I'll just quickly have a discussion on the points so that we can have a discussion, and in case if you have any queries, you can just fall back on this discussion and complete your assignment. Is it fine? Okay. So Lagan, are you guys not able to hear me? Am I not audible?
You are audible, Kabir, for me. Perfectly fine.
Okay. Loganathan, could you please kindly reconnect once? Maybe some issues from your end. Or maybe you just need to switch on to the audio button. Okay. So quickly, let's jump on to the assignment discussion. So the first question says, Eclipse is a proprietary tool developed by SAP. Is this statement true or false? What do you say, guys?
False.
Yes, this tool is an open source platform tool and it's not developed by SAP. Please understand that. So if anybody asks you, Eclipse was never developed by SAP, it was already there in the picture. Only the plugins which SAP has given, which we have tightly integrated with Eclipse. The second thing, development in ABAP development tools is performed using the same what model as used in the ABAP workbench. What is the model that we talked about in the first class? What should be the answer for this one?
3-tier model.
Not 3-tier model. 3-tier model, that is fine, that we already we know in SAP GUI and all. But what's the development model? Is it offline development model? Is it online development model? What is the model?
Offline.
It's an online development model, right? So the answer is online development model. What are the different ways through which you can set preferences for working with ADT? What are the different ways? So one is you can select your system, right click, go to the properties, or select your project or your system and click on Alt and Enter. And once you come here, basically you will be able to go to ABAP development editors and source code editors. So if you come here, you will be able to see your whatever preferences you can set for your system, or otherwise go from window, go from preferences, and also you can go and change whatever preferences you want to set, right? So these are the two ways through which you can go and change your preferences for your system or for your project. Okay, now moving to the next question. What are the different perspectives related to ADT available in Eclipse? What are the different perspectives? Or just can you tell me how many perspectives are there with respect to ADT as in ABAP?
2.
How many perspectives are there? So 1, 2, 3, 4. But basically we deal with debug, ABAP profiling and ABAP, right? But so if how many is there? It is 4. But we basically deal with these 3. Debug, ABAP profiling and ABAP. What is the minimum backend system compatibility which is required so that we can connect ABAP development tools for SAP NetWeaver with ABAP backend systems? What is the answer for this one? Anyone?
Sir, ABAP 7.31.
It's 7.31 support pack 4. So if you have support pack 2 or 1, also it will not work. 7.3 enhancement pack 1, support pack 4. So 7.31 SP4. Can more than one workbench window exist on the desktop or laptop at any given time? What is the answer for this one? So can you have more than one windows?
Yes.
Yes, right?
Yes.
So how do I justify that? If you see, currently I am in this perspective, right? If I want, I can go to this perspective also. If I want, I can go to this perspective also. If I want, I can go to your HANA perspective also. So you can switch over to any perspective. I can go to HANA development, HANA model, any perspective. So yes, the answer is yes. What is the difference between terminate debugging and disconnect debugging? Did anyone try?
Terminates the entire program. Disconnect is just switching off the debugging and continue with the program.
So if you see, if you put a terminate debugger example, I put a breakpoint here, okay, and I do an F8.
But the terminate button,
Yeah, tell me.
the terminate button will abort the execution of the program in the debugger. Program execution ends. But the disconnect button runs to the end of the program, ignoring any intervening breakpoints.
Yes. So if you see, if I put a terminate debugger, no, it will be terminated and you cannot do anything. Even if you do F8 now further, no. So again, it will come here, again it has to trigger. If I do disconnect again, so you need to again go back to your ABAP perspective. But if I do F8 and if I do a disconnect debugger, here disconnect, okay. So again, your debugger is still active and you can go ahead. So if you see F5, F6, I can do ahead, I can continue, right? So with terminate, your entire session is terminated. You need to go back to your ABAP perspective, right? Or if I do F8, again the debugger session will be triggered again from that point itself. But if you do disconnect debugger, this session will not be terminated. You can continue ahead, F5, F6, whatever you want to do, right? Understood, guys? Okay, so let me do F8. I'll terminate the session. And yep, this. Okay. So the next thing is, what is the minimum SAP kernel version required so that ADT's native debugger can be available on application server ABAP systems, and how can we check for the same?
Okay, the system should be the subkernel 7.21, subbasis 7.34, SP4 or higher.
So 7.21, how do we check the same? Anyone?
Yes,
How do we check the same?
Basis.
So even if you are not dependent on basis also, you can find out.
Yes,
So
in the menu, go to the status.
Yep, just a second, I'll show you from SAP GUI
Okay.
basically. Let me enable sharing for SAP logon. Yep, you should be able to see now. Are you able to see my SAP screen? SAP GUI
Yeah.
basically. Okay.
Yeah.
So system, go to status. Now go to this other kernel information here, shift plus F5. And can you see here? Kernel release. So this has to be bare minimum 721. So though you can directly ask basis, but out of your own curiosity, if you are interested, you can directly also go here and get the same information. Is it fine, guys?
Yeah.
I'll close the same. Okay. Which of the following functions are available in both the ADT debug perspective and the SAP GUI debugger? What are the correct answers?
The first, set MVP dynamically during debugging and display the contents of an internal table.
Yep. So this option is available only in your ADT debugger and not in SAP GUI, as you are all aware, right? Okay.
Yes.
What is the keyboard shortcut that you use to copy a method and its signature onto your code after you enable Ctrl plus space and then choosing the relevant method? What is the keyboard shortcut?
Shift enter.
Shift and enter.
Yes, right. Now the last question. You are creating a function module in ADT and not in SAP GUI, and you are using the native source editor, okay? How will you define its interface without leaving the function module editor?
We use that template.
So which template? Anyone?
ABAP function module template. We go to the
right.
Windows preference, ABAP developments, editors, source code editor, and ABAP templates.
Not required also. You do not need to go to preferences and templates. So suppose this is the function module. Initially, this is already in created function module. Just write function here and this will come up. See this.
Oh, okay, use a shortcut. Nice.
Okay, this makes your life faster. And people were asking, I heard from my team, the people were asking, how do you make it pass by value and all those things, right? So if you see here, if I delete this and just activate this and do context menu, right click, open with SAP GUI. So when I open the same with SAP GUI and go to the importing parameter, this pass by value is not enabled, right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
This pass by value is optional, or pass by value is not enabled, right? So if I close this, so what you need to do is just add this keyword value like we did in the last class and activate and Control and F3, and now you go to this one, open with SAP GUI. Now go to your import. Can you see pass by value gets enabled?
Yeah.
And people were asking, how do you enable RFC or other stuffs, right? So see, if you see here, you will not get any option, but life is very simple. Just click on open with, go to SAP GUI, come here, edit, and just make whatever changes you want. Is it fine?
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously we can hope that SAP do also comes up with some evolution that we can do that also here. But as of now, that's not there. But yeah, I just told you the other way out also. You do not need to go to exclusively to SAP GUI to enable that. You can do everything from here. Okay. So that was the end of the assignment. So I hope you people do not have any doubts on this, right?
I had a question.
Yep, tell me.
ECC first or S4. Then can we edit the function module in Eclipse?
Could you please repeat?
Hello?
Hello.
So if we create a function module first in S4, can we open that?
Yes, you can easily. Example, this function module was created in SAP GUI by some of our team member, okay? See, I have opened this here and I was editing it, right? Yes or no? Tell me.
Sorry, I am not sure if everybody signed this or not, but you're using
hello?
Your audio.
Your voice is breaking.
Yeah, I think I'll have to rejoin. Sorry, I'll just rejoin.
So just a quick question, is your doubt clear?
Yeah, my doubt is clear. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So one more quick thing is that, can you see the space here? So if you, even if I just remove the space, no, I put it here, okay? When you will activate, no, automatically the space will come. So that you cannot do anything here. This space will automatically come. This space comes because of this interface definition and all that you see as a part of your form-based editor. This is your native-based editor, right? So this comes because of your space that you enable as a part of this interface implement definition and all. That is the reason you will be able to see a space. Okay, now other important thing that I wanted to discuss with you is, so when you deal with, suppose if anyone wants to handle your ABAP dictionary objects in Eclipse, okay? So just a second. So I told you like how to handle your function group and function module, right? Similarly, if you want to handle ABAP dictionary Objects in Eclipse. So for handling ABAP dictionary objects in Eclipse, that is, as I mean, if you want to handle data elements or domains or structures or table types, or even I'll not talk about the CDS. You obviously know that CDSs do work only in the editor, your native Eclipse based editor only as of now. But yeah, I'll talk about your data elements, domains and other things. So this all first. If you are on a lower system with respect to application server ABAP backend system, always remember my point. If you are on a lower system with AS ABAP backend system as in 7.4 or below, in some cases you may not be able to see the native editor. It may directly open your GUI based editor. But what we have seen normally is that with the release 7.5 or higher, you can easily use your new Eclipse editor for your data elements, structures and all the other ABAP dictionary objects. Now with respect to your structures, if you see here, this is how your structure prototype looks like. So if you see, like you guys would have worked with CDSs, right? So if you see here, sometimes you would have known about annotations. So here also you need to handle with annotations. So like how we clearly define the enhancement category for your structures or tables, right? Similarly here also this @ABAP catalog.enhancement category helps you to define the enhancement category for your structures. So if you see, just put control plus space, this has got 4 values like you see in your SAP GUI form based editor, right? So either it is like structure cannot be enhanced, or can be enhanced character light, can be enhanced any, or can be enhanced and character like or numeric. These are the options: not extensible, extensible character, extensible underscore character or numeric, and extensible underscore any. This is an important thing that you need to make note of. Otherwise, if you are really interested, you can go for creation of these dictionary objects from your Eclipse, or the easy way out is to go from GUI, as whatever comfortable you feel. Second thing is that sometimes we do include structures, right? This is just one line which you need to add to include any other structure or table type in your structure if you are creating a deep structure. Other thing is that here, while the normal prototype will be here, the component name will come, then colon, either your ABAP dot whatever predefined type that you want to use, or any data element that you want to use. So this sample is like, here a data element has been used, right? If you see the other way out, here another structure, here ABAP dot predefined type has been used, and you can define the length also. Similarly, here since you are using the data element, automatically the description and all will be pulled in. But if you are using ABAP dot predefined types with the length and all, so you can put in your own descriptions also. So if you see here, open with SAP GUI, whatever description is given there, the same short description is coming here also, right? So you can see this also here. So these are the ways: either you use ABAP dot predefined type, or you use a data element, or you can directly assign a table type, or you can include any other structure as well. So if I open this here, open with SAP GUI. So if you see here, this is your table type, right? So did I specify any table type something? No. Phone underscore num, I have assigned a table type, and this will understand that it's a table component type is a table type. And if you see, if I double click here, it will open your SAP GUI based editor. Again, if I double click here, this is opening your GUI based editor. Can you see? So it is tightly integrated. So I'll go back. So guys, did you understood? Did you understand handling your ABAP dictionary objects in Eclipse? Or any doubts on this one? In case if you want to name, yeah, tell me.
Structure, like what was the path you chose to go to the, define this structure, come to this page?
Nothing. You just use a Control-Shift-A and just put in your structure. So example, if I close this, okay, suppose, just do here, and or if you Suppose if
No,
this
if
is
you
not
want
there,
to define a new structure, if you want to create a new structure in a
yeah, I'll just tell you. Just 1 second. So suppose if you come here, so that struct, and in case if you want to create any structure, so what you need to do is again go to your packages or your local objects. So sorry, here new, other ABAP repository object, and write dictionary, data element, right, structure, right, database table, right. These are the ones that you need to use, or table type, domain. Understood?
yes, okay.
Okay.
Kabir, also I have one doubt, like I wasn't able to switch the tabs by using Control Shift 10. I was I was getting an option only for opening a new project.
Okay, so if you want to switch the tabs, it's Control and E. So if I use Control and E, I'll be able to switch the tabs.
Okay.
See here. Or Control and F6. You do not need to then click on Enter. Remember we discussed about it last class.
Yes, okay.
Okay. One quick hint is that another one. Till now I have been showing you to use Control and Shift and A to open any object, right? What is the other way if I do not want to use Control Shift and A? So if you see Control Shift, when I use Control Shift and A, there is no restriction as to what it is searching, right? It is searching within your entire project, yes or no. What do you say, guys, right? So if I use handling, function group and function module, handling. So just let me increase the font size a bit. Yep. So when I use Control plus Shift plus A, I do not get any option to restrict my search. Now, one more thing is that, just let me quickly tell you, if I do Control and H opens up a screen like this. Now, if I want to search, for example, this program, okay, that test program Kabir, okay, and I do Control and H, here, then I put it here. Now select this, restrict this, search to the favorite packages only, because I have assigned the favorite packages to this one, right? In case by mistake if you close the object, but if you remember the name of the object, come here, restrict the search to your favorite packages also you can do, and click on search. Let it search and it will open. Also, till it searches, one more thing which I want to show you is that, can you see this? Suppose this is your class, right? And let me link it with the editor, it will open here, okay? And now, if you bookmark this, there is an option to bookmark also, add as a bookmark. If you add this as a bookmark, and even if you forget this, you can quickly open it here. So if I close this, now go to the search. So here, I searched for this program, right? Double click here and this will open here. Understood, guys? How to use Control and H? So Control plus H also enables you to search objects to search ABAP development objects. Control plus H. This is also an useful utility. And I was telling you about the bookmarks, right? So can you see here that this is the bookmark, okay? And I've closed that class. Go to the bookmark, double click on this. See, the class opens. And see here. Guys, did you understand the bookmark feature? So you can use this feature also. You can bookmark your objects and you can just quickly open them from your respective view. So there will be a view with your bookmark. You can use that feature directly. Is it clear, guys? And if you want, you can remove it also. So if you delete this, the bookmark entries will be gone. Okay, so I talked about handling your function group and function module, handling the ABAP dictionary objects, and I also talked about the control and edge. Okay, a quick note is that sometimes you may need to make either work with your enhancements or modifications, right? And sometimes you may need to make modifications onto the standard source codes also, right? As of now, your Eclipse doesn't support modifications in the native source code editor. What do I mean by that? Anyone? Can anyone?
Enhancement implementation not possible.
So yeah, so in the native source code editor it's not possible. So I did not say that it is not possible in Eclipse. So I'll just write it down. Modification of ABAP standard codes is not possible in the native source code editor, but it does not mean that you cannot do that in Eclipse. So in Eclipse, if you have a standard object, if you have a standard object, okay, and in case if you want to change something, if you just start writing something, it will open a pop-up for you that it is not possible in this. Do you want to jump to SAP GUI? It will open the embedded SAP GUI, and there you can do your modification by using the modification assistant. Is it clear, guys? And enhancement does not work the way you see in SAP GUI. If you directly search for any enhancement, whatever you would have done as a part of your project, as a part of your developments, only that enhancement opens up. That enhancement framework opens up only that enhancement source code plugin. It opens as a source code plugin. Understood, guys? Any doubts up to this point?
Can you show one example or something? Like, I'm not able to visualize this.
Enhancement. Not sure whether we have any enhancement. Just a second.
Can we try any standard function module and try to just create an implicit enhancement? I don't need to create, just right click on that.
Just let me see if I have any enhancements. 1 second.
Or can you even create one single line enhancement only?
Yeah, I'll show you 1 second. Let me just see if we. Okay. So if you see here, I think this is not active, but what I wanted to show you is that just let us search for any enhancement if we have. I'm not sure, but I'll search for it in case if we have. But just to show you what it will open is that whatever enhancements you will have, okay. Okay, just let me search if we have something with ZENH or something. Yep. Can you see source code plugin? So this is where it will come. Do not think about the code here. But what I wanted to show you is that it will come like this. It will come as a source code plugin. So let us search if we get something else also. ZENH. ZENH enhancement implementation. Okay. People have not touched much. So if you see any standard structure also, if you enhance, are you able to see the entire structure in your native source code editor? No, right? So any enhancements that you deal with, it will open that part only directly. Can you see? This is an append structure which is done to the standard structure, right? So if I do F3 to this one, This is the standard structure, right? And can you see how it comes? If something is enhanced, this is the icon which you will be seeing. This means that this standard structure has been enhanced. Okay. And so the enhancement that has been done, so if I click here, so if I click here, it will navigate me to this here. Can you see how fast navigation here it is? I'll close this also. And as I talked about, forget about the code. This may be any code here. So if you see, this is the source code plugin that I was talking about. It will open as a source code plugin. And for modification, can anyone ping me any standard function module? Or, okay, one second. What we can do is, example, I'll open this standard class. Program or something, anything, okay? And I click enter here. Can you see? Carry out repairs in non-original system only if they are urgent. This is the modification assistant which I was talking about. And if I click here, can you see? This will clearly show that it does not have any modification assistance in Eclipse. So go to edit in SAP GUI, and now your modification assistant option turns up, and you can use the same as you have been doing. Guys, is it clear now? The points that I just talked about a few minutes, from the modification assistant perspective, that you will not be able to directly use it in your Eclipse native source code editor. You need to switch to the SAP GUI based editor. You can use it within Eclipse itself. It will directly allow you to jump to that, and you can make use of the modification assistant. Is it clear, guys? Whoever was asking me that question.
Even if you want to implement a implicit enhancement point or section, we have to go to the native, the embedded SAP editor.
So for implicit, see, if you want to do an implicit enhancement point and all, so that you can directly use it from here. But if you are directly editing an implicit enhancement or any enhancement that you have done, it will, so normally in SAP GUI what happens? You open the entire object, right? And you can scroll up and down and add your code or edit your code onto the respective point wherever you have done the implicit enhancement, right?
Yeah.
But here in Eclipse, it will not open the entire object for you. If you directly give your enhancement name only, it will open that enhancement only for you. So as per as my experience, if you see, it doesn't make you feel comfortable with the enhancements, because when you are able to see the entire code, it makes it easier for you to handle. Like suppose if you are adding a code at the end of a function module or at the end of a class method, right? So you may use the existing parameters at the top or some definitions or some variables at the top, and then accordingly handle your logic as a part of an enhancement, right? But here you will not get that option because it doesn't open the entire thing for you. It will open only that source code plugin for you. So what I normally do is I jump onto the SAP GUI editor and handle it there. Or if you know specifically that, okay, this is the thing that how it has been written and you want to change something for which you do not want to refer to the original object, you can come here and just handle your code in the source code plugin.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
Understood? Got it.
So, Kabir, if we want to implement the user exit, so we can't do that in Eclipse.
User exits are only there for anyways for your SD modules. So,
right.
So basically, if you want to implement exits and all, anyways, you will go to those T codes, right?
Yes.
If you want to implement from scratch, so you can directly use Alt and F8 and enable the T code. It will anyways you open your SAP GUI screen only.
Okay.
Right. If I do an Alt and F8 here, Open any T code, it will open there on that screen only directly.
Okay.
Your GUI based.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. Up to this point, any doubts?
Kabir,
Yeah.
one doubt. Like by that way, I will be just finding the exit. But after at the time of implementing, can we do that? Like, do we get the sword mark here and option to implement?
So you would have seen that Eclipse is designed in such a way that if it is not able to support in the native code-based editor, obviously it will make you jump onto your SAP GUI-based editor, right? Example, when I open this transport request also, anything, suppose I open this one. So it opens like this. In case if someone is not comfortable with this, what they can do? They can go here and they can anyways open this with SAP GUI, right? So for everything they have a given option that, or if it was the other way around, if it did not support this native editor, what it will do? It will automatically open in the embedded SAP GUI editor itself. Understood?
Okay. Yes.
Anyways, for everything
like,
you can
I
jump
know,
onto the GUI-based editor.
Yes, I know that I can jump onto the Google editor. I just want to know, like, can we implement it here or like no?
I have not tried and it's not comfortable also. You can give it a try, but it's not that comfortable to try because I just showed you the anyways if you open T codes and everything, it will open the SAP GUI-based editor itself. And there, example, though I am telling you to create a structure like this, but if you create a suppose a Z table, trust me, it will not be that easy to create a Z table like this way, because you need to use annotations, you need to use multiple statements to create your structure, which becomes very easy if I jump onto the form-based editor from time perspective, right?
Yes, data visualization is quite easy.
Yep. So this has been designed on the basis of your modeling views, like what modeling that we do. But that is easy. But like I'll not say that is easy. But from that perspective, it's a bit different. But when I'm creating like either a structure or either a table, it doesn't gives me that flexibility. So that is the reason I said. Okay. But yeah, from your knowledge perspective, just I talked about like how if you really want to handle, how you can handle.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Okay. Now let's jump on to some of the modern ABAP syntaxes, and I'll talk about the other important points that we need to keep in mind while handling ABAP programming in Eclipse. So already we were discussing a few important points, and furthermore also we will discuss. But before that, let's jump on to your like the modern ABAP syntaxes. So to start off, first of all, we'll handle the inline declarations. So basically with respect to your inline declarations, earlier what we used to do, so for everything we always used to declare, right? Whether if you want to use an internal table, or whether you want to use a structure, or whether you want to define any variables, for everything you used to keep on declaring, right? But with this inline declaration, it basically makes your code base smaller, easier to understand, and instead of always declaring them separately, but it also depends on as per the use cases where you may really need to declare and like kind of make it a global. We can declare the local variables embedded in the given context. Always remember that with inline declaration, the local context will come into picture, because wherever you are using inline declarations, the usage of those variables will be local to that area. So example, let me first show you, let's first do that. So I'll use the same report only, this one, and I'll minimize this one. Okay, so now with respect to your inline declarations, So very simple example. So data LV underscore var, what do we first used to do? We always used to declare any variable, any data type, and then we used to assign a value, right? So suppose we'll do this. Now we do not need to do that. You all know that, right? So the same thing, what I can do is I can write LV underscore var data Zapier, right? Now quick question, when I was using this one, so example, if I eliminate this one, I'll make it LV var and I'll make it LV var1. Now guys, can you tell me what will be the data type for this one and what will be the data type for this one? Will both be string? Will both be string?
No.
I'll just comment this part. So many people think that will both be string. So I'll just activate. I'll put a breakpoint. Okay. Now I'll do an F8. Now see here, this LV var, this is of type string, right? And the best part is LV var1, even at the runtime this gets initialized. Can you see? And can you now, what is the type which is coming? LV var1. So I'll just expand this. So now when I do an F5, I'm here, right? So what was the type? Okay, just 1 second. Let us put some statement.
What character, right?
So that the debugger stops at something and we are able to debug. 1 second. Yeah. Yeah. Now LV var and LV var1. So LV var, the type is string, okay, but see the technical type, it is character string, right, for LV var. But for LV var1, the actual type, obviously it will be some runtime at the type it is generating, but you will not be able to see the actual type here. But what is the technical type? It is C and not C string. So if you see, though both are referring to string only, but the technical type, actually if you see, both are not same. And why I am talking about this point, I'll explain it to you in after some minutes. But understand that this will also play a crucial role, and there is an important point to be noted about this one. But I just showed you to make you a difference that the actual type, the real technical type will be different. This is character string and this is C. Okay. Now let's go to your code further. So now further, suppose what we used to do, suppose if you want to pull data into an internal table, okay, so type standard table of EKPO. Suppose if you want to get data from EKPO, and we also used to declare the structure also, right, type EKPO. Now, and suppose if I want to declare a field symbol, so field symbols fs underscore EKPO and type EKPO. So I have assigned a field symbol and I have assigned the internal table and the work area. Okay. So now what we will do is, I'll bring it to the middle so that the screen is clearly visible. So select, if I want to select all the data from EKPO, up to 10 rows, then into table and lt underscore ekpo, right? And normally what we do, loop at lt underscore ekpo into ls underscore ekpo and whatever logic we write and end loop, right? This is what you normally do. Now, okay, now since I've got an internal table, let me show you the watch point thing that I was talking about. So let me activate this. Let me put a breakpoint here and let me put an F8. So in this internal table, remember the debugger perspective we talked about that I'll show you today. So if you see, if I do an F5 here, so all the data, if you just double click here, okay, put it here below, this comes here and this is here, okay. Just let me put it a bit down. This is the internal table data, right? If I do not need the stack, just let me put it like this. Internal table data, this is your internal table and this is your work area, right? So guys, quick question to anyone who can answer me. How do we put so suppose for an internal table, normally we put watch points, right? In case if we are getting issue with any data, normally we put watch points, yes or no? For multiple use data, it's not possible for us to put on to check through the entire loop. Normally we go for a watch point. So how do you set a watch point here? How do you set a watch point here? Anyone? Anyone who wants to give it a try? Tell me. So Prasad says expressions. So do you get anything in the expressions? No, right? Can you see breakpoint variables? Now, I need to set a watch point for this structure for some value, right? Yes or no? Can you see? Right click, context menu opens, set a watch point, right? Or right click here, set a watch point. Any ways out you can do it. Then watch point created for LSEKPO, right? Here, LSEKPO. See here, variables, watch point created. Okay. Now, if I want to set a condition for this watch point, breakpoints, condition for the watch point, right? Without the condition, does this watch point makes any sense? Yes or no? No, right?
No.
So now, ls underscore ekpo. So suppose for this one and then put a condition here. In the double quotes or whatever, how the value will be, if it's a numeric type or it's a character type or whatever. So suppose if I want to check for this value 6, okay, I'll just put 6 here, okay, and nothing. That's it, okay. If you see, the condition is set for this watch point, and now this is my F5. If I do an F5, it will go here and there, right? So if you click on ls underscore ekpo, you can see the values here also. See here. Or if you see here, these are the values, right? Now I'll do an F8. Can you see this symbol coming? Watch point reached. And if I expand this values here, this is the recent value, as in the last one, 5. Okay? And what is the current value? Here, 6. So can you see this beauty? In the watch point, you are getting the last value which got executed before that and the current value where you have set the watch point. So guys, is it clear how to set a watch point? And now if you want to remove this watch point, either you can disable this or you can remove from here also. Understood, guys? And see here, from here also you can show the watch point variables, show watch point, delete watch point. So these are the different ways out. So if you see, right click, show watch point, this will show you the same watch point condition. Then show watch point variables, here you will be able to see the watch point variables. And if you want to delete the watch point, the watch point is gone. Can you see? It's gone. And now if you do an F8, Here it comes back, and then you go back to your ABAP perspective. Guys, is it clear? How to handle a watch point, how to set a watch point, how to inspect the variables of a watch point, what are the different ways to set a watch point, and the condition associated with that watch point. Any queries? Any queries, guys, up to this point?
Clear.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, now the same thing. Now, so if you see how many lines of code that we were writing, for declaration we were using three such lines, right? And again, as such, then we were writing a real logic. So if I remove this, so what we can do is now, rather than doing all this, we will make use of inline declaration directly. So select asterisk from EKPO up to 10 rows, then into table, then at the rate data, and let me start commenting all. So here I can write LT underscore EKPO and done. Then loop at LT underscore EKPO into data. See, I am not even writing half the code. I am making use of tab, the code assist completion, and end loop, and done, right? So earlier we will do read table LT EKPO. If I want to use field symbol, so what will I do? So let me write it here. Read table. So control space LT EKPO, or if you do control O, all the variables that you have been doing right now. See how it is easy. Read table LT underscore EKPO, assigning field symbol, and then what is the field symbol that we had given? So suppose fs underscore EKPO, but that I have commented now, right? So what I'll use, assigning field symbol. So since I'm using this field symbol for using the inline declaration, otherwise I would have actually used the field symbol variable, right? So here now fs underscore EKPO, and I'll put this inside this, and suppose I want to read the first line. Okay, and done. Now guys, one quick question. Many of you asked me on that day how to use the F1 help and all, okay? So suppose if someone wants to know about loop add and they click on F1, this opens up, right? Do you know what if you encounter a situation? Let me create a scenario. What if you encounter a situation wherein this F1 help is not opening up? In this system, obviously there is some issue with some connectivity, so forget about that. But in your project systems, it will not be having. So all these things will be clearly displayed. What if this F1 help is not opening? You are not able to see all these. So any clue how can you rectify that? What is the suggestion that you can do? Or will you directly reach out to basis and tell them to do something that this is not coming? What is that can you do? Tell me.
Reset perspective.
So reset perspective, but what reset perspective will be dealing with that? If I'm clicking F1, I'm not able to see the ABAP help. Will the reset perspective really help me in that?
Kabir, it gives some suggestion to go and activate some service in SICF.
Yes, right. So what is the service? Can anyone tell me? So see here, Control N6. I'll open SAP GUI, SICF, service default host, go to your SAP, then go to your BC, then go to your ABAP, and these are the two services. These are the two internet services that needs to be active. If by chance, if by mistake, anybody of your developer or someone while playing around has deactivated the same, you will not be able to see the the F1 that I'm doing, no, it will not work. It will not work. And the other way around, if suppose if this services has got deactivated and if you want to activate the same, there is a program basically which you need to run. So that program is this one, ABAP docu ICF service activate. This will activate the same paths which I am showing you. Basically this path it will activate. This docu path it will activate. So you need to use that program in case if by mistake somebody has stumbled upon and deactivated the service. So ABAP docu ICF service activate. I'll just make a note of it here. So ABAP docu ICF service activate. So just from a knowledge perspective, anyways, you will not be able to, you will not need to do this. And in many cases, sometimes your SICF service path and all may be handled by your base system activation for all these paths and all. So, but yeah, just from your knowledge perspective, your ABAP docu ICF service activate is the report which you need to run to activate the ABAP service paths related to ABAP F1 help. Okay, fine. Yeah, now coming back to this one. Yeah, so we talked about your we were talking about inline declaration, right? Yeah, so now in the inline declaration, let me quickly show you one more scenario. So data LV underscore text equals to, suppose a mail ID of Zapier. So mail zapier@gmail.com, right? So if I want to find this at the rate, what we used to do, find at the rate in LV underscore text match count and LV helper. Now this helper variable I will have to declare, right? Suppose, so okay, the beauty of it, can you see here? This helper variable would need to be declared, right? So if you see control and 1 here, because I have an error here, either it shows me to rename, right? But it does not show me. Now again, control, 1 second. If we click here, so sometimes as a part of your quick fix, you may not be able to get the best fit suggestion also. That can also be a possible. Okay. Sometimes as a part of your quick fix, you may not be able to get the best suggestion, but you know that there is an error here and that's why it is showing something. And if you see on the right side also, this field LV underscore helper is unknown. Here also you have an errors 1 because it is linked to this error view, the problematic view. Here also you are able to see that something is coming, that field LP underscore helper is unknown. Earlier what you would have done, you would have gone and declared this, right? We would have need to declare this, but now what I can do is data LV underscore helper variable. So now quickly, can you tell me what will be the data type for this one, which is declared implicitly as a part of this inline declaration?
Integer.
Anyone?
I.
What will be the data type for this one?
Integer, it should be count.
So just let me show you. I'll put a breakpoint here. So I'll just put a breakpoint here to stop it. And I'll activate the code. Sorry, I'll execute the code. Okay, So this LV underscore text, okay, this is also inline declaration, F5, and now LV underscore variable, it's of I type, yes. So that will be an integer type. And this is the value is 1. And also from the debug perspective, as I was talking about on that day, right? So you can design your own views accordingly. So what I did is, your internal table dialog box, I put it here, the variables are here, the values you can see here, and the codes here. And also if you want, you can see the stack also, but I have minimized it because I wanted to maximize my view editor view. So it depends on you how you want to maximize your window and to use the respective all the views. Okay. Now quickly let me show you one more thing. So suppose LV underscore Matner, okay, and I'll pass some value randomly, anything, without even checking that whether this is correct or wrong. Now what I'm going to do is call function, right? So now conversion exit alpha input, conversion exit alpha input, okay, this one, and then shift and enter, automatically your entire thing came, right? So now control N7 to disable the same, and here okay. So now as a part of the input parameter, let me pass LV underscore Matner, and here as a part of the output, let me try to get this in an inline declaration. So when you are trying to use inline declaration as a part of your function module, currently that is not allowed. Can you see here? Just read this. The inline declaration is not possible in this position. As of now, your inline declaration concept is not supported as a part of your function module parameters that you may need to handle. This is one restriction. So as of now, to say in one line, inline declaration is not applicable for an FM call. Guys, did you understand the one restriction out of it? So if you're using inline declaration, please do not use the same for a function module call. As in, if you're trying to assign some output directly without declaring the same, please do not do that, it will not work. Okay?
But it will work for the classes, methods, right?
Yep, that also I'll come. That also I'll come now, don't worry. Just hold on to that. So this is one restriction which I talked about. Now, with respect to the classes and methods, let me quickly show you one thing. So I'll comment the same. And I'll add a comment here. Inline declaration not applicable for a FM call. Okay. Now with respect to the class that we created on that day, this was the class, right? So now what I'll try to do is, in this same, I'll just comment this below part. Uncomment the same, or anyways no need to uncomment. I'll put the code here. Now for this class, I want to use this class here. This is the class ZCL underscore test underscore Kabir, right? So let me just activate this piece of code. So what I want to do is, I want to call that class inside my this report. So this is what I want to do. I want to call that class inside my this report. So now, first of all, whenever we used to call a class, first of all, what we used to do, we used to create an first type reference to that class and then instantiate that class, yes or no. So data whatever reference instance reference variable, type ref to this class, and then we create object, and then we used to call the class. Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
Right? So what we would have done, data lo underscore ref, type reference to zcl underscore test underscore kabir, and then create object lo underscore ref. Right? This is what we have been doing. So let me just do one thing. I'll come here. Now, one twist to this one. What you can do is, I'll comment this part. Inline declaration first of all. Okay. Use the new operator, then the class, and put this. What does this new operator does is, this new operator helps you, one of the usage, I'm not telling about the only usage, one of the usage of the new operator is that it helps you to create an instance of a class at that place itself. Now understand, can you always use the new operator? If you have created an instance of a class and if you want to keep on using the same, and if you want to again use that instance somewhere else, can you again use this new operator to create an instance of a class? Yes or no?
The operator, new? We can use it.
I did not get your question.
No. I try to understand what you asked. Ask again, please.
Okay.
Say again.
My question is, so I have declared this class instance variable, right?
Yeah, the object.
To call the instance of this class. Now suppose, think that you are writing a big report or you are building a big application and you have already created an instance of a class, and using that instance you want to use something again. So suppose, like example, sometimes in a class we get an instance, and that instance then you again want to use somewhere else, okay? Or you want to reuse that instance again and again, and you are also checking whether that instance was already bound or not, okay? What if you use this new operator? Will that logic work out? Do you really need to always use this new operator to call the instance of this class?
No, because we are going to create a new instance, right?
Yes.
Every time you use the new operator, you are going to create a new instance, but has to be assigned to other object, right?
Right. So that will become a hindrance for you, and your logic will fail.
Yeah.
So remember that there's a restriction for this one. In some cases, this may not work out. In some cases, this may work out also. So the thing is that mostly for all cases this will work out, but you may also face scenarios where this may cause problems for you. So remember this concept. That's why I told you that always do not go and write just new, then the class name. Do not go for always re-instance creation of the same.
We can evaluate if the object is bound, right? Before we are going to create it. So we made a restriction.
Yes, that's why I asked you, like always do not go for calling the instance variable by using the new operator.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay. So now that I've created this instance of this class by using the new operator, so now what I'm going to do is, now lo underscore ref. So this is my attribute. So let me go to this class. So if you see here, I have created an attribute here. Okay, I have created an attribute here also. LV underscore VA5, LV underscore VA4. I have just created some additional attributes here. Okay, the instance attributes. Now,
Okay.
quick question is that if you see the usage of this, if I do F3 here, can you see, do you find any usage for this or any usage for this? If I do control and minus, do you find any usage of this in this program? This LV V5, if I do control and O, okay? This one, or just let me go here. 1 second. So this is your, inside the public section, this is your instance attribute, and inside your protected section, this is another instance attribute that you have created, okay? Now tell me, you do not find any usage of both these, right? Okay. So one feature which I had talked about in the last class is to delete this unused variables, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. What was the shortcut for that?
Alt U.
So that is for deleting everything, and Alt plus Shift plus U for deleting. Anyone? Selected ones, right? Okay. Now observe carefully. Please observe carefully. I'll press Alt and U because I want to delete everything. Okay. Did it get deleted? Guys, did it get deleted?
No.
And now, one more
That
thing.
is protected, right?
Yeah, just 1 second. Just see here. I'll put one more under a private section also. Okay. Fine. I have activated my class. Okay. Now I'll press Alt and U. Observe carefully. So LV underscore VA6, control and O, I'll outline everything. So, or here also. So if you see, navigate to declaration here, navigate to declaration here, and navigate. Or if you want to use, get the values list of this. There is no values inside here, right? Example, if I do the get to the navigate to declaration, navigate to implementation, can you see? I'll come here, it will come here. See here. If you put control and space here, navigate to definition, navigate to redefinition. If I want to do redefinition, see here, okay. But if you see for this, there is no implementation because this parameter is not used anywhere. Here also, get the values list, there is no parameter used anywhere. Now, observe carefully. As of now, you are able to see 1, 2, 3 instance attributes under public, then your protected and private. I'll press Alt and U. See the magic. Did anything happen? Alt and U. What did happen? Can anyone tell me what did it happen? Control and O. Inside your private section, whatever attribute was there, it is gone. So one restriction, variables, sorry, I'll say, yeah, attributes that are declared in the public or protected section of a class are not deleted using either Alt plus U or Alt plus Shift plus U. But yeah, obviously you can go and delete this. I can go and delete this, and I can go and delete this. Is it clear? Understood, guys? That was the purpose why I had kept some attributes there, just to show you this feature. So this is one more feature which I wanted to talk about. Okay, now coming back to the usage of this class. Now this do action, and this is one of the question in your assignment. This is how, so SN, this is how the feature has been built in Eclipse as of now. So that's the restriction basically I wanted to talk about. This is the restriction that they have designed. While using the code like unused variables deletion, with respect to the feature for the deletion of the unused variables, that's the restriction that you have in place as of now, SN. Okay. Now shift and enter. And let me make some changes to this class. So this was divide, I'll make this plus. And now this one I'll navigate, I'll open here, edit and make it add and activate and done, and close this. And now activate this also. Okay, for timing I'll remove this one. Okay, now action, here I'll pass an action as add, value 1 is 3, value 2 is 2. Now receiving, and let me uncomment, sorry, control and 7. And now what if I use an inline declaration here, will it work? What if I use an inline declaration here, it will work. So data lb underscore result and done. Okay, so now if I execute the same, if I do an F8, can you see you are getting the output which is coming from the class, right? So in the class I have printed this output, the same is coming from the class. So while if you are using an inline declaration, if you are using an inline declaration in a class concept, yes, in many cases you will be able to use the same, but one restriction. Let us go back to the PPT and let me do an F5. In some cases, if you are using inline declaration, so I talked about the actual type, right? I talked about the actual type, yes or no? So in that case, you have used an inline declaration to assign on the operand position with the value for a variable, and that data object, if you are passing, suppose to a class, suppose you are passing as a part of an exporting parameter, you may encounter these kind of issues also. And it will directly say that as a part of the exporting parameter actual, that type and the type that you are passing here, though this may be in string, but since this is actually not a proper string, that is the reason you may encounter the type compatibility issues with the formal parameters as well. Guys, did you get my point? Is it clear?
Yeah.
So this is an important restriction which I wanted to talk about, so that it's not always about, as we talked at the start of the session of the training, right? It's not about always using the modern syntaxes, but also it's useful to understand the restrictions that you have in place. That is what is more important, right?
Kabir, I have a question here. Like you are receiving you are using the receiving type parameters. What are these? Are these new type of parameters receiving?
No. I am not doing a receiving kind of a parameter. If you see what I have used, returning. I have not used exporting parameter. In a class, you can have importing, exporting, changing, returning, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
So since I have used returning parameter, that's why it is showing me receiving parameter here.
So it doesn't show returning here also. It shows receiving only.
I did not get you.
Should it?
Okay. So why it is showing receiving? Because I am not. If you use an exporting parameter here, it will become a difference. It will become importing. But I am using pass by value with a returning parameter. You can play around. You can change these parameters. You will be able to see a difference here also.
It shows returning here also. In GUI, I've seen it showing as returning only. If I remember.
So if you see, I'll open this. If in GUI, now go to your form-based editor. So for this parameters, for this do action, can you see here returning parameter? Because I had given a returning parameter. So in the report, if you open, see in the report, in this one, if you open in the report, okay, this whatever you are seeing here, you will see the same in GUI based editor. See here, there will be no change. Understood? Should we have a break of 5 minutes?
Okay.
Okay, let's have a few minutes of break, 3 or 4 minutes of break. I'll close this. So guys, can we start?
Cover quick question.
Yep.
Can you go to Eclipse please? So in the line number
Go
7,
on mute. I see a lot of disturbance.
so in the line number 71, can we have, is it possible to assign the data type there? Just like new operator, like where we are giving the class name, the data type.
Here 71 you're telling.
Yes, yes. Is it possible?
In
Is
line
there a way?
declaration you cannot give a data type here. I'll show you. There is one constructor operator which is allowed. It can convert from one type to the other type. We will discuss about that also in a few minutes.
Okay.
You can make use of that
Okay.
to handle the restrictions that you are getting, right? Like as I showed you this scenario or any other scenario which you may get. Sometimes it may show you that there is a type compatibility issue. This is a very common issue, right? Type compatibility is a very common issue which you face. And normally what you do is that you again go and declare with that type, assign the value, and then you go and proceed and handle, right? So there is a constructor operator is there which you can do it easily at that spot. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, a quick question to all of you to make it interesting. So now, are you all set to answer my question? So my question is, I am calling this class, I am calling this method, okay, and this is the class. So suppose, how will you check the values list feature of it? So suppose, what is the values list feature of this class? Do action. From here, you can either go and search for the same, this will show you the report, or click on this do action, search for Control Shift and G, it will show you the values list, or from here, go to the link editor and then go for the values list of the same, you can search for the values list of this class. Did you guys understand how to quickly find the values list from multiple places? Either from the source code or from the outline, the parameters or the attributes or the methods or whatever you have used, or from the link source code project explorer. Guys, did you understand the different ways out? How to find the values list, right? Now my question to all of you is that, suppose while doing the code review, suppose we are donning the hat of a developer and our leads told to please change this method name to do calculation. Please change this method name to do calculation. Now question to all of you, how will you handle that? Suppose you are in SAP GUI, what you are going to do? You are going to first change in the class, in the form-based editor, you are going to change the method, right? Yes or no method name? Then you're going to come to the report, to the values list, and in the report you're going to change the method name in case if there is any values list of the same. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? What do you say? Anyone? So what is a quick way out? Isn't that frustrating for you? First of all, obviously you need to go and check for the values list. Point number one, that will be your first check, right? Because otherwise how will you know where are the impacted objects? And then you will go and you are going to change in the class, in the form-based editor, in the method, you are going to activate all by one, like one by one search for all the values list objects and go and change there, right? Okay, now what if I want to, I'm in the class, okay, I'm in this class and I want to rename this method, do calculation, okay, Alt Shift and R, okay, Alt Shift and R, and now make it do calculation, okay. Next, it shows me all the affected objects also. I do not want to also even get stuck in that hassle of activating the changed objects. Click on next, okay. This is the version control comparison which I was talking about. Can you see? Can you see here? The same line. Now this was the older one. This is the refactored one. Original one, refactored one. You want to see in the class, methods do action, methods do calculation. Now this is the version control which I was talking about. Click on finish and done. Can you see this is do calculation, all the places. Will it change in the program? Yes, it changed in the program also. Now what if I want to do from here, Alt Shift and R, and I want to make it do action again. So let me minimize this and let me make it do action. And now this time I want to make it very fast. I want to make it finish. So do action, it became here, and what happened here, it became do action here as well. Guys, how do you like this feature? What do you say about this feature? Doesn't it make your life simple?
Is it just to rename the methods, Kabir?
So if you see here, whatever I select,
Right.
source code, whatever you want to rename, it's not about renaming the method only. I talk from a real real usage out of it. Like there will obviously be a no usage to rename anything, right? So sometimes we sometimes we in hurry we give a proper nomenclature to a method name or something. So that's why I talk from that perspective.
Okay. So just like a replacing with a different name in a GUI, we give a name and we just replace with everything with that, right? Something similar to
Yes.
that.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so what happened now? So let us see the error. Okay, did we make it? So public. We did not change. The method do action is unknown or protected or private. How come? Oh, the class. Oh, we forgot to activate the class. So now did you understand? Okay, so on that day I talked about the version control, but many people are having doubts, so I'll just add in a few more points about version control. And another important feature which I had talked about on that day, and anyways you are aware of, so this part of this method extraction of a source code to a method. So this is only applicable if you select something within the method. Example, if I just select anything, if you select here, okay, and if I want to now go for extraction of a method, it will show that it's not a valid selection that you have done. Always remember that method extraction is only supported within the selected area of a start and end of a method. Okay, now the quick thing that I was asking, many people ask about the version control and all, right? So 1 second. So with respect to managing the version control in your Eclipse ADT, so if you see here, already I talked about this control Alt C. Now important thing which you need to understand is that there is a local history, there is a previous revision, okay, and now with any of the project. With respect to this local history, you can compare only the local changes. So here, if I select this, whatever local changes you are doing on this system, you will be able to see. So suppose this or this, in case if there is any change, but locally what happens, the same version keeps on getting added here, right? So in case if there is any differences in the local changes or all, you will be able to see the local changes. Now with this revision history, this one here, normally what happens, whenever we make changes, we keep on transporting the same to our other landscapes, right? Maybe to the quality for functional testing or for further regression unit testing, yes or no? So how will you test what are the different versions that you have transported as a part of your TRs? What are the different versions that you have transported as a part of a TR? That you will get help from your revision history. In case if you want to just compare from your previous revision, as in the previous version, here obviously you will not get, because this system is not transportable. Otherwise, you can get from your previous revision. Or otherwise, sometimes directly you want to compare your current system's version to your production system or to your quality system or to your pre-production or to any other system, right? So in that case, what you can do is directly compare with and select any of your project. So as I talked about, a project here in Eclipse resembles your systems, right? So select that project. As I showed you the version control, which you are, so you will get a vertical split editors, and then you can compare the source code for both the systems or the respective revisions with respect to the different TRs, or as I showed you with respect to the local history. So for anything it will come like this only. So if you select this and if I select this, it will come like this only. But basically your local history doesn't help you much, because you will not get much differences. Normally on a day-to-day basis, either you will be using the previous revision or revision history, or a lot popular your with respect to the projects. And you can also use the shortcut directly, Alt plus F plus C, and this will open directly with which system you want to compare. So Alt plus F plus C, if you want to do whatever system you want to compare, it will directly open with that system directly. Guys, did you understand? Is it clear? In case if you had any doubts with respect to version control. Okay, another important thing which I want to show you is that, so normally in this class, this is what? This is your general comments, right? This is your general comments, yes or no? Example, methods calculate values. If I do here, in this method calculate values, if I do an F2 here, this is your, anyways, your private instance method, this is your general comments inside the same, right? What if you want to make it something much more informative, as in for this particular, if I do a element information overview as in F2, okay, or if you want to see the same window, show view and others, and here ABAP element information, okay, and do an F2, and now go for this, where did it go? Here, element information view. So here if I want to make something informative, example, I am using it here, right? So F2. So suppose I am using that class here, so I want to see the information, what are the different importing parameters returning, even before using the same. I have now I have used it, but even before using the same, if I do F2, I'll be getting the information here. But if I want to add some additional information also, how do you can do it? Wherever you want to add, so example for this do action, okay, you can add an ABAP document comments. So basically ABAP document comments provide a developer with a way to add the special comments before the declarative statements. Before the declarative statements, you cannot add everywhere. So first of all, ABAP doc comments provide a developer with a way to add special comments before declarative statements. Okay, so here if you see, how will I add? First of all, double quotes, then exclamation mark. So here now you can add your comment. So the action will be passed to the importing parameter Okay, suppose if I added this, okay. Now suppose if the same thing I wanted to add it here. Example, I'll activate this. I do not see any issues here, okay. What if I want to add it here? So here, if I add it here, can you see a warning? The ABAP doc comments are not possible for the current statement. So it will not be allowed to add everywhere. As I talked about, you can add it to the declarative statements. So I'll remove from here and I'll put it back here. If I activate the same now, and now if you do an element information overview, F2, can you see the documentation coming? This part refers to your ABAP doc comments. Understood, guys? This is a feature which you can use if you want to add this as an additional documentation from a documentation perspective. Here also, now if you come here, F2, see the documentation. And if you go from your element information overview, where did it go? Here also it will come. Is it clear? So if you want to use this feature, that's why I talked about, in case if you want to use this feature. Okay. Is it clear up to this point? Hello? Okay. Now for this conversion exit alpha input, let me show you an interesting feature. Many of you would have been using this conversion exit alpha input for doing these conversions, right? So now let me show you how can you make use of the embedded string expression also to get the same. So suppose I want to add, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Suppose, forget about this declaration is matter or anything. I want to add 5 leading zeros to it. So data lv underscore final underscore matner, okay. What I can do is use the pipe operators, okay, and inside this pipe operator now use this, okay, and here what it was, lv underscore matner, right? So lv underscore matner, okay, alpha equals to in and width equals to 10. That's it. Let me show you. Let me put a breakpoint. Let me activate this code. So if I put it here and let me execute. Okay. So LV final matner, technical type C string and actual type string. If I do an F5, can you see the value here? Isn't it the same like what I was trying to do here? This did not work out here. I showed you an alternative here without using the function module. Can you see? So you can make use of this embedded string expression to achieve the same conversion exit alpha input or conversion exit alpha output. For output, this will be out. And this width is to specify what is the total length that we need. You do not need to use this anymore now. In case if you do not want to, but I'm not saying that you cannot. It's about you, what is the choice that you make. You can go with this option also. Understood, guys? Understood, Prasad?
How about if you want to delete the leading zeros?
Nothing, alpha equals to out.
I have one question.
Okay.
Use alpha equals to out. Suppose if you have 5 leading zeros and 5 this number, make the width as 5.
Okay.
Okay.
But
Hello?
Kabir,
Yes,
like
tell
if
me.
you don't know the width, like if you want to just want leading, delete the leading zeros, like 4 or 5.
Okay. Yeah, one second. I'll show you that to you also. We'll come to that now only.
Okay.
Kabir,
So now, suppose see, okay, I'll comment this one out and I'll remove this. Okay, fine. And Control and F3 to activate the code. Now this breakpoint was here. I'll put the breakpoint here and F8. Okay, I'll do an F5. Do you see anything? Any leading zeros coming in? Did
No,
you now
because
understand what is the width, role of width equals to 10 that I did?
Yes, that's because we are inline declaration.
It's not about inline declaration because I wanted to add leading zeros, right?
Right.
If I
but
do not
you-
specify and so I'll tell you why did this happen. I'll tell you. So focus first of all, understand this LV Matner is of length 5. In inline declaration, if you are not specifying any length, example in this case, what happened? No, statically, whatever is the length and the type of the same, this gets assigned to this one, right?
Correct.
On the operand position. So the length was 5. This same length came here. But when I specify this width 10, I want to overwrite that statically length coming in and assigning to my left hand side. I want the length to be overwritten with 10. That's why we use this additional statement width equals to 10. Guys, now did you understand? Like
Yes,
from the
yes.
conceptual point of view.
Suppose if we declare like a type as character 10 and if you put alpha in, it will do the same thing without width, right? If it is not inline declaration.
But then it will not be inline declaration, right?
Right, it will not be.
Yeah. Now you understood. I want to use everything, but obviously if I want to taste everything of the same flavor, I cannot. Now I want to stitch something out of it, right?
Okay, got it.
But now, yeah, now somebody was asking, what if I want to make this as a exclusive whatever type that I want? So you all know that Matner on the non-S4HANA systems it is 18, and on the the S4HANA systems it became to 40. Yes or no, right?
40.
So now, what if, let me do a twist now. I introduce a new constructor expression operator. So the new constructor operator which I am talking about is your conv operator. So basically, conv, this operator, this your conv operator, this is your constructor expression operator. Okay, this is mostly used in your constructor expressions. What it does is it converts the argument. It converts the argument as in the data object to the data type that you specify using this type. Whatever type you specify here with this type, whatever this expression is there, this expression, the type will be converted to this type that is specified here, and it will be assigned to this operand position. Here there is one more twist. You can use a hash also in case if you want the type to be determined statically from the expression on the right hand side. Okay, so what I mean is that, so conv operator, it's basically a conversion operator and as I talked about, it's basically a constructor expression which helps you to convert the argument as in the data object to the data type specified using the type that we gave. So here now let us jump onto Eclipse Now suppose if I want to use this conv operator and matner, okay, fine, and put this embedded string expression here, Control X, Control V. Now one important thing which you need to understand, if I do Control and space for this matner, 1 second, we should have matner. Suppose if I do this matner underscore D, okay. So now one quick thing that you need to understand as a part of this syntax. Here if I do this, it will start throwing you an error. Let me first remove the breakpoint. Okay. Can you see this error coming? Field conv is unknown. Remember that while you are using these constructor expressions, all these are, this conv operator is a part of the constructor expression, right? Whenever you are using the constructor expression, whenever you are putting anything inside the parenthesis, before the start and before the end of the parenthesis, always remember to put a space. Always remember to put a space. Always remember to put at least a single space. If you do not put a space here, or if you do not put a space at the start or the end, it will throw you an error. Now if I activate the same, and now if I put a breakpoint, and now if I re-execute this one, now LV final matner, okay. Now see here, what is the length coming and what is the type coming? So guys, whoever asked me that question, now is your doubt clear?
Yeah.
With inline declaration also, if you want to convert, what is the thing that you can do? By the way, how many lines of code have I written here? I called an entire FM in an embedded expression. I also converted the same into a different type, and also without having declared anything, I have done this in an inline declared variable. So now you are understanding. I talked about moving to the future coding of ABAP. This is what I was talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, it is just one line of code.
So did you understand? Like I talked, no, I just told no at that time, like just wait for a few minutes, I'll answer your question if you want to really convert to whatever data type that you want. This is the constructor operator that you really need to make use of. Now let me show you the other twist part of it. So if I go here and I'll close this, and if I go here, I'll copy this line, disable the breakpoint, and suppose if I give hash, I give an hash here, okay. Can you see an error coming? So this is a thing that you will face if it is not able to derive any type from the right hand side and assign to the operand position. This is the error that you will get. Can anyone tell me why are you getting this error? This is important to understand. Why are you getting this error? Anyone?
Because it is unable to get the length of the conversion final F matner.
Yeah, but because LV matter is inline declaration, right? So
that is the answer. It's not about the width. See, even if I give the width also, no, still it will not be able to derive the type. The problem is this one, okay, this one when I highlight, okay, this one is coming from here, right? This one is coming from here, right? If you see, if I do F3, it will navigate from here to here. Can you see? So this one is inline declaration. This one was not assigned any data type. So this concept plays a very critical role if you are using this convert or any constructor operations. In the other classes also we will see. This is a very common thing which you need to understand, that no type can be derived if at least in the right hand side expression which you are assigning the type to the operand position, if it is not, there is no type derived for this, how it is going to derive a type and assign to this? So that is the reason why I was using this. So the below code will not work as no type can be derived from the same.
But Kabir, there's no point in using convert operator if the type is different.
Yes, obviously. No, that's why I showed you. See, I showed you the limitation of it. Obviously, if you are defining a type here, okay, one more important thing is that if you are giving a type here, if you do not want to use the convert operator, now let me ask you the next question. So the question is, in your function module, if you come across this type compatibility issue, okay, it's not about this one only, wait, just let me show you that scenario also. Let me comment this one, let me uncomment this one. So I'll use an FM call here, okay. So suppose I'll make it, what do you say, control alt down, and I know a material number with length 19, 18 characters. So 1 second, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 19, okay. I'll comment the same. Now I'll use data lv underscore plant type. What was the plant? ZFM fetch plant detail marc werks.
Kabir, it's works underscore D.
What?
The element is works underscore D. Like for Metner, you use Metner underscore D. The element is works underscore D.
Okay. Yeah, let's use this also directly. Yeah, char 4, okay. So now call function and ZFM, then fetch plant detail this one, okay, and now here I'll pass this lv underscore matner here, okay. And in the importing parameter I will use lv underscore plant. Okay, so guys, can you tell me, I should be getting an output, right? I'll disable the breakpoint, sorry. Yeah, I'll activate the source code, and now let me write lv underscore plant, okay. I'll activate the source code, fine. I'll execute. Can you see a dump coming? Why did this dump come? Go back here. This Matner is of what type? So let me put a breakpoint.
I.
That is of type I. How can that be of type I?
Character C.
That's of C type, right?
This is right.
And now if I go to your function module, okay, the best part, I can play around. I go to your function module. What is the type here? Mara Matner. Okay. And I go back to my debug perspective. Just let it load 1 second. I was in this program, yeah. So now this type is of C and the type that it is expecting is of type Matner. So obviously it is going to give me a dump, okay. I'll terminate the debugger. I go here and I go to this program. Now see one more usage of this converter operator. conv Matner. I can use Matner, right? Okay. Now here and then this, and then close it. So now I use this, I activate the code now, I remove this and I do an F8. Can you see the plant coming? So now whoever asked me that why to use CONV operator, like I was using hash, right? Why to use CONV operator? Always it can anyways come from here. But what if you want to exclusively specify some other data element type or some other type for the operand value on the left hand side? Now did you understand the usage? As I clearly told, it converts the argument to the data type specified. Yes, tell me.
Kabir, I have two questions here. First, you use CONV hash. What does the hash signify here? And the second question is that can we use this converter operator for importing, exporting all type of parameters?
Yes, CONV operator you can use for whatever parameters you need. Normally you face issues while passing as a part of exporting parameters, right? Even if it's a table type, you want to convert to another table type that you have created, so you can pass that also. And for these parameters also, as I showed you now. Now to answer your first question, what is that hash? Hash is basically if the data type required in an operand position is basically known completely. So example, one scenario is, now if this LV underscore final matter, okay, let me show it here. So type string, I've created as a type string, okay, and now here let me comment this out, let me uncomment this out and Control Alt and C. Now let me comment this out, I remove this, now can you see it comes to a warning? Can you see the error is gone? Why? Because this is already known, the operand position, this value is already known. So there are multiple flavors to it. One was I did not know it, I want to assign the value from this to this, as well as assign a data type to this to which I want. I gave the data type. But if I use hash, if the case is if the operand position, the data type is unique and it is known, then you can go for an hash. Or otherwise it should be able to derive a data type from your right hand side expression. In all other cases you cannot use the character hash, that is, it cannot be specified, it will throw you an error. Understood?
Okay, Kabir. And Kabir, one more question, like can it be used for ABAP 7.4 or only for 7.5 only?
So above 7.4 onwards you can start using the constructor expression. The constructor expressions you can start using from ABAP 7.4 onwards. I'll specify this. So with release, most of the things you'll start getting from ABAP 7.4. So with release ABAP 7.4, one second. So ABAP supports all these. Yep, now tell me.
Even if the database is not HANA, these expressions will work.
It is platform independent. It's not your platform dependent like AMDP. It is platform independent.
Okay.
It does not have to be a SAP HANA database. Okay. So guys, did you understand the complexities regarding the CONV operator? That's why I spent so much time to make you understand with all the different scenarios. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Yes, Kabir.
That's why I took into consideration all the different cases. So now did you understand why I talked about on the first class? It's not about just a line of a code. It's about understanding really all these things behind this. Right? What do you say?
Yes.
Okay, now let's focus on the last thing that I want to discuss for today, is that concatenation using the pipe operator. Just a second. So regarding your concatenation operator, okay. So let's do something interesting. Yep. So LV underscore txt1. Let's make it hello data LV underscore txt2. Hello guys, and LV underscore txt3. Let's write me a comment. Welcome to day 3. Okay. So now, if I use this feature concatenate LV underscore txt1, right? Then LV underscore txt2, right? Into data LV underscore final txt separated by space. Okay. And now if I write concatenate this, hello guys, I'll put a full stop, concatenate this LV underscore final txt and put a period to that into the same LV underscore final txt. Okay. Now if I want to concatenate this hello guys with this one, now I'll use another concatenate LV underscore final txt and then LV underscore txt 3 into LV underscore final text, right? Okay. So if I now write this output LV underscore final txt. So I'll activate the same, I'll execute the same. So this is coming like this, like hello guys, welcome to day 3. Now what if, how many lines of code did I write? 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'll comment all this. So data LV underscore final txt equals to, use the pipe operator which we already talked about, and use the braces, and LV underscore txt1, okay, ampersand, okay. Suppose if I want to give a space like this, okay, and then again ampersand, and LV underscore txt2. In case if you want, you can skip that and directly write here that particular character literal also. So guys, and let me add a period here directly, and ampersand, and the last one LV underscore txt3. Okay. So if I print the output, will you get the same output? So let me do one thing. Control N7 and LV underscore final txt1 and comma LV underscore final txt1. Okay. So now let me show you the output. Guys, will both the output be same? Guys, will both the output be same?
Space will not be there. I think space will not be there in the letter.
So where will you not see the space? So
In the final text one.
So if I do the output, hello space guys, but here the space is not there. Why? I gave a space, right? Why did it not take a space? Anyone? How to bring a space? Okay. Observe here.
The blank statement is there in the traditional one.
See, below the tilde operator, there you will get an operator. I use that operator, okay? Activated the code, F8. Can you see the space coming? Just let me do one thing. Now see the output. Can you see the space coming ditto? So remember that when you are using a single pipe operator and using the chain operators to chain everything, okay, using double ampersand to chain everything, as in to concatenate everything, if you want to put space, you cannot use single quotes. You need to use the operator below your tilde operator. So to put a space, let me show you the other version of this one also. So Control Alt space, I'll comment this out. I'll not comment this out. I'll make it LV final text 2. So here what I'll do is that I'll put everything into separate pipe operator and then chain the same. Means what I say is that I'll use this, I'll use this, okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this, okay, and then I'm going to use this. So what I need is now, I need guys now, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this inside a pipe operator directly, and then again a pipe operator, then start up braces, close this. Now will I get the same output? Will my LV final text 2 also be the same output? What do you say? So I'll put a space also. Will my output be same, guys? Anyone?
Yes.
I'll do an F8. So a quotes also came here, right? When I use this, a quotes also came here. So remember, if you are putting a character literal inside a pipe operator, no need to put quotes. And now let me show you F8. Can you see the same output? What if I had removed this space? Let me activate, show you the output. So you need to put a space inside the pipe operator to resemble a space. Okay. Now I use double ampersand. Can I use a single ampersand? So Control Alt this, LV final text 3. Let me remove this. Let me remove this. Let me remove this. Okay. And now let me activate and Control Alt slash and here comma. Can you see how fast it is to code? Because I'm using a lot of shortcuts. And now let me do an F8. Can you see the same output? So the point to be noted is that if you are using everything inside a single pipe operator, if you are using everything inside a single pipe operator, you can use only double ampersand. If I use a single ampersand here, no, it will start throwing an error. See here. If I start using a single ampersand, it will start throwing an error. You cannot use single ampersand if you intend to put everything inside a single pipe operator. Below scenario involves but if you split it, if you are not using a single pipe operator, you are chaining the same, right? Here you are chaining the same, yes or no? So in that case, you can use either a single pipe operator or your, single ampersand or your double ampersand. It depends on how you want to use. Guys, did you get the point?
Can you repeat that once?
If in this below scenario, if you want to use everything inside a single pipe operator like how we have used here as a part of your embedded expression, right? This is called your embedded expression, inside pipe operator, inside braces. If you want to use this thing, chaining everything by using the chaining operator double ampersand, this is called your chaining operator. You need to use double ampersand only. You cannot use a single ampersand. But if you use these below scenarios where you want to break them into separate embedded expressions, this is one expression, this is one expression, this is one expression. In that case, you can use either double ampersand or single ampersand for chaining these embedded expressions. Did you understand? And also here, you do not need to put any quotes for these character literals. That's why I showed you the combination of both.
Okay.
Guys, is it clear? Now the restriction is, sometimes earlier the developers, what they used to do when they used to concatenate, they used to put a size RC check also. So the problem is if the length is not able to accommodate the concatenation of the variables that you are concatenating. If you put a size RC check in the way with the new concatenation using the embedded expressions and the chaining operator, the problem is your size RC does not work out. Here it will have no change in the size RC value. So if your code is dependent on this check, will it work? No. It will not work because basically it does not change only. But if you see that you are using this syntax, as in this old syntax, here your size RC works. Guys, did you understand the difference?
Yes.
If any developer in the old code, do not go and blindly change if you want to change it like this. Because if they have used something which is dependent on size RC, that will fail if you are using this. because this does not check whether the new length will be able to accommodate. So if you see here, this is of type C length 5, type C length 5, okay, and this is what I'm giving is of length 10 and 50, whatever length, okay, but this obviously will not be able to come in this length 5. It will not work out. This isobarc check fails. So you need to use the conventional approach if you are putting any such conditions. Normally we don't put such conditions, but to talk about the restriction, hence I am telling you so that to keep this in mind. Okay guys, is there a way to handle it? Yes, you use this approach. You use the old approach, Prasad. Understood, Prasad? Fine then.
Kabir, I have a question. Like, why do we need to use the pipe operators in the single pipe operator case? Like, I had tried it earlier, and even without the pipe operator, it works perfectly fine.
Okay, why I am using the pipe operator? Because I talked about the embedded expression cases. So example, I understood your point, what you are trying to say. So you are talking about this, and you're talking about this, right?
Right, Kabir.
What if I want to use an embedded expression like anything like this inside my concatenation? If I have 20 lines of code, I want to use a conversion exit alpha input, I want to change the value, then I want to show that value as a part of a concatenation, I want to concatenate it with something else, and then I want to display. How many lines of code would you be writing? You will be writing a few more lines of code, right?
I
yes
didn't
no?
get like what. I didn't get you, Kabir. Like what by
So example
embedded.
saying that inside a loop you want to use conversion exit alpha. I am talking about the older approach, okay? Inside a loop you want to use conversion exit alpha input, and then you want to pass that as a string concatenation, and you want to pass that value to something else, and then you again want to store the value. So obviously you need to write a few more lines of code, right?
Right.
So if I just use like this, will you be able to pass that concatenated like first that conversion,
okay,
and then that in a single line? No, right?
I got you. Right.
Now you understood like why I was stressing from this perspective.
Right.
If it is just plain text, go ahead and do like this, not an issue. Here also, see this, if I use this and text 3 and comma and text 4, control and activate the code and say F8. Can you see hello guys? Again that space is gone. So here also, now again put this operator and activate the code and do an F8. So here also you need to use the operator below the tilde operator. You cannot use single quotes. Understood? For space.
Yes, Kabir.
So guys, is it clear up to all this that we discussed today? Fine then. So we'll wind up for today. We'll again meet tomorrow. In case if you have not worked on the assignment, we did have a discussion on the same. We also understood quite useful features today regarding the important points that you need to keep in mind while handling your ABAP programming in Eclipse. So, okay, let's again catch up tomorrow and we'll discuss further more new modern ABAP syntaxes. Hope you had a great day and you had a fruitful learning. Stay safe. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.